This crowd comes to now have on this rusty shooter tonight. The line of yeah, man, it's Jim.
It's a back pass with Rise on the mic. Talking for these stories, keeping vibes real tight. Legends and laughter, you know the drill. Back pass with Rise, football, better and chill.
From SG to the region, we cover the game. Big names, small clubs, the passion's the same. Stories from the pitch and the ones untold.
Back pass with Rise,
where the beautiful game unfolds.
Welcome to Back Pass with Ras, bringing to you part 2 and the final part of a show that I will just sum it up to be World Cup 1994 versus World Cup 2026. So you've heard the first part where I spoke about my experience, my memories from watching World Cup in 1994 as a 10-year-old in Singapore. Now I've got someone who reached out to me on our page on Facebook, and he has got his own memories as an 11-year-old in the United States of America, who hosted the World Cup, and it's none other than Mr. Jim Ehrlich.
Ehrlich is my name. Yeah,
Ehrlich. Sorry.
That's okay, no problem.
How are you doing,
thanks
Jim?
for having me on. Thank you for having me on.
Welcome, my pleasure. I'm sure you have many juicy tales to share with us. And a disclaimer for everyone as well is not because of the t-shirt that he's wearing, that's why I've got him on the show. It is genuinely because I believe he has got some really good tales to tell. And I think it'll be very interesting to know as well from an American's point of view of the World Cup, because we have our point of view from Southeast Asia, watching it on the TV screen, and also wondering how the Americans took to it. So, Jim, tell me, first of all, first question. What was the Americans' reception towards the World Cup? Did they know this was coming about? What its significance was?
Yeah, it was a little bit different situation than most other people because we come from a soccer family.
Okay.
My grandparents came from Hungary in 1956 in the Revolution. My grandfather played professional for Rennes in France. And if you're familiar, I'm sure you are, with the Hungarian football at the time, pre-World War II, they were the Brazil of the world. There were so many good players in Hungary, and they were devastated by the war. So, long story short, I'm a lot different than the average American family because soccer was in our blood. My grandfather took my father to the 1974 World Cup in Germany. My grandmother went by herself to Argentina in 1978 by herself. And then in 80, they didn't go 82, 86, they went in Mexico. They were at the Hand of God game.
Okay.
And they told me that the only three people who did not see the handball was the referees in the whole stadium. They told me. They went in 90, and then 90. So, we knew this was coming, and it really got kicked off, I think, with the draw in Las Vegas in 1993. They brought me all sorts of souvenirs. They gave me a Beckenbauer signed document and met all sorts of players. And my grandfather was on the founders committee for the World Cup in 1994. So we had a lot of access to tickets, and we ended up seeing 8 games, including the final and semifinal and third place game, and 5 other games in Giant Stadium in New Jersey. So, long story short, I knew it was coming, but the average American, I don't think really paid attention to it at the time. I think maybe, I hate to compare it. I know we wanted to save the comparison to now, to 94, but I think it was maybe a little more, excitement then, only because the tickets were more affordable for the average person. So, but as a soccer family, it was nothing but excitement for us. So,
Okay. So at that point in time, you would have been in school like me, and so your friends would have no clue that this is coming about, I guess. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I played soccer, so I played on a club team, and we
Okay.
were all, it
Okay.
was known.
Mm.
Yeah, it was known, but in the '90s, it was American football, baseball, basketball.
Yeah.
It wasn't really soccer, football, world. We call
Yeah.
soccer here at
Yeah.
the time. Um, but it changed. It did change as it went on. You could feel the excitement build, and it was
Uh,
real. It was real. Everything you saw and what you spoke about in your video and the atmosphere, it was real. I lived it, and it was incredible.
and the ones in the crowds were real Americans that came down to watch football, and I guess quite a lot maybe might have been converted to football fans, as we know it in this part of the world.
Yeah, I mean, I remember going to different games and having different people around me. I remember having American people around me. I remember having Bulgarian people a couple rows away in the Germany Bulgaria game. No, I'm sorry, Mexico Bulgaria game. They were in front of me, and they had just sold their house to come
Oh,
to the World Cup. So it was a combination of at the final in '94. There was a couple of people, that American guys in front of us. So I have memories of different varieties of people for each game. To be
yeah.
honest, so it was a good mixture.
Okay, now I want you to delve deeper into your memories. So, of being at the matches, would you be able to name the matches that you were
Yeah,
at in the stadium?
absolutely. Italy Ireland is the first game we went to,
Oh,
and I'm a big New York Giants fan, football. So they played in my stadium, my home stadium. And I've been to games since then. I was never at that stadium before that day, but since then, it was the loudest I've ever heard that stadium. And I don't know if you remember, but the forecast of the crowd was it was supposed to be all Italian.
mm,
And the story is, as the Italian bus was entering the Meadowlands, which is where the Giant Stadium is called, it's New Jersey Meadowlands. As they were entering, they would see nothing but
Lou.
green
Oh.
jerseys, and I tell you that Ray Houghton goal, it was unbelievable. The noise, it was such a vibrant roar that you can't even recreate with computer or nothing. It has to be in person only. You can experience that. It was incredible. And I remember, actually, I love the World Cup, so I'm always from '94, and I'm always learning new things. But uh, I was 11. I was 10 years old for that game. My birthday is July 7th, but I was 10 years old for that game. At the end of the tournament, I was 11, but I really remember a drunken Irish fan running onto the field,
Mhm.
and like six New York officers just pummeled him. And it turns out, I just found out last night doing my research, it turned out it was a famous Irish actor
Oh,
that was that man. And I didn't know
yeah.
that. I
Okay.
did not know that. And supposedly Jackie Charlton was able to talk to the police officers to let him go. And I didn't know that. And I remember seeing it in front of me, it was incredible. So that day was, and I was rooting for Italy at the time. I wanted Italy to win, but the way Paul McGrath played that game, and
Mm,
Roy Keane, who I
okay.
love, is
Yeah.
my second favorite player.
Mm.
It was just a great atmosphere, and I wish everyone to experience that in their life if they want to go to a game like that. For every soccer fan, I wish they could experience that, because every other game was great, but the atmosphere was the best at that game, the best. For that game, yeah, that was what I remember. And then we went to Italy, Norway,
Oh,
and we sat in the same seats. We sat at the upper deck for that game on the
mm,
bench side, and so Pagliuca was to my left when he had the handball,
okay.
and I remember the shock of the crowd when Baggio was taken out. The shock, I could see the emotion from the fans, and he couldn't believe it. But again, great atmosphere when Dino Baggio scored. It was just, and the Norway fans were great. I mean, dressed with the Viking hats, and I have a few pictures I can maybe send you later of that experience. But it was just such a joy to be around. And then we went to the Morocco Saudi Arabia game, which was a decent game. What was that, 1-0, I believe? Was it 1-0?
I believe it was a draw. Yeah, I know the Saudi
One.
Arabians had a good tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So that was a good game. And then round of 16. First, we watched Italy, Nigeria.
Oh,
There was a VIP section across the street in a horse racing facility, and we watched the Italy, Nigeria game. I was rooting so, as you were,
yeah.
for Baggio, and you could just, see the desperation of that game was so great. But so after that game was over, we walked across the street and we watched Mexico, Bulgaria, which was a great game. And that was fun because we sat in the mezzanine section, which is the middle section of the stadium. And right behind me, the seat right next to me was Bertie Vogts, the coach of the German team, with the assistant coach, and they were scouting, watching the game, because they were going to play whoever won.
Whoever won this, yeah.
And so the goal broke. You remember there was like a 15-minute intermission.
Oh, that one I remember. Yes, the goalpost broke.
Right. So the goalpost broke. My grandmother gets up, sees Michel Platini walking. She gets his autograph for me. Then I turn around. There's Bertie Vogts. Hi. Then my grandfather said, "Let's go and see Puskás," because he knew Puskás.
Yes.
So then I go meet Puskás. 15 minutes of that. It was unbelievable. But the goal, the atmosphere was great. Very little, as you can imagine, very few Bulgarians. It was 95% Mexicans,
yeah.
And when Stoichkov scored that goal, it was quiet and it was beautiful to listen. It was just great. But it was just a magical game with the penalty kicks. Lechkov winning with the winning goal. It was just a phenomenal moment. I mean, feel free to, if you have any other questions each game, let me know. But
one thing I have to ask though, you in this World Cup, okay, you're American, but is it right to say you're supporting Italy to win this World Cup because of Baggio?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's my team. Yeah, that was. I mean, USA was my number one because I'm American. But Baggio was right there with me, right there, and very strong for Italy. Very strong as the tournament went on. The Nigeria thing kind of turned him into a hero.
Yeah.
And then the Spain game kind of, made it.
He went on from strength to strength after that. After the Nigeria game, I think the weight of the world was lifted off his shoulder after that goal against Nigeria.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
And I remember entering that tournament as well. The newspapers here covered it. They said he had an Achilles tendon injury, and they had like a newspaper clipping showing us where exactly the Achilles tendon is.
Yeah,
so
I saw.
Going to that Ireland game, I knew he wasn't fully fit, but I still expected Italy to beat Ireland. So it was a shock when I woke up in the morning and found out that Italy lost. So
yeah. Well, I tell you, it wouldn't surprise me because I know he got injured with the Bulgaria game with the hamstring, but as we'll tell you later, but it was very hot that day, and it was very hot in the final. That as well.
The temperature at that point of time in the summer, how hot was it? Okay, you might give me in Fahrenheit the temperature. I will need to make a calculation on what it was in degrees Celsius here.
Probably 97, 98 degrees. It was very close to 100 degrees. Very close Fahrenheit. So maybe 30, I don't know, what is it, 37, 30, I don't know what it is in Celsius.
Okay, I'll do the calculation.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it was, yeah, I mean, it was
Yeah.
just very hot. And I think, I don't want to jump around, but the next game we went to was actually the Germany Bulgaria game. And I had a great seat for that. I sat in the second row. And you can see me. There's a picture. You can see me behind Klinsmann in the one picture.
Okay.
Me and my family right by the bench, and we sat in the second row. And for a split second, after they scored the penalty, Mateus scored the penalty. The Rudy Voller scored, if you remember, on the offsides.
Yeah, yeah.
But for a split second, I was rooting for Italy, remember. I want Italy to win. So I was rooting hard for Bulgaria because I had a feeling Italy would have a much easier time with Bulgaria. And for a split second, it was 2-0 in my brain. It was 2-0 because it looked like a goal, no problem.
Yeah.
You hit the post, Voller was there, and he put it in, and then I see offsides. I'm like, oh, okay, good. I was, rooting. But what a fairy tale of a game with Stoichkov with the free kick. And I remember, like I said, there's a great picture from Sports Illustrated here. I found the picture last week too. I found it where Bodo Illner is looking on the wall and he's looking, but the ball is here. And it's a great picture because he doesn't see the ball on this side, And I remember Sepp Maier, the goalkeeper coach for Germany, when they scored that, he was going crazy, throwing his water bottles all over the place right in front of me. And it was unbelievable to watch. And then, of course, the Lechkov header it was incredible. And that was a team that, that's once in 100 years for that Bulgarian team. They'll never, unfortunately, I wish it was so fun to watch with Balakov and, Kiryakov, the little midfielder. I loved watching him.
Yeah.
Kostadinov, yeah. I remember watching Kiryakov. Remember the little redhead guy, number 16. I remember watching him just move without the ball. Nothing special, but just a good little player that knew how to position himself. And I like that Bulgarian team because each guy had to do their job in order to succeed. And they didn't. Yes, Stoichkov. Yes, Lechkov. Yes, Balakov. But they needed it from Kostadinov. They needed it from Kiryakov. They needed it from the goalkeeper who just passed away.
Mihailov, right?
Mihailov, yeah. So I really love that team, and if they were to beat Italy in the semifinals, it would have been upsetting for me, but I would have been respectful of them because they really did it. And so that brings me to the next game. I was at the semifinal as well, Italy, Bulgaria. I sat behind the goal where Stoichkov scored the penalty kick. I was right behind the goal. And so Baggio's goals were on the other side of the field. And I saw them clearly. It was great. As the game was over, I watched Baggio right in front of me, crying, waving to the crowds with who was the older man?
Gigi Riva, I think.
Gigi Riva. Riva was right next to him and crying, and he was right next to me. And now we see all those pictures of him with Gigi Riva. And actually, when I met Baggio last year at his house, I explained to him, hey, I was 10 meters from you when you were crying, and with Gigi Riva, I told him, and he said, wow, you're the first American to come to my house, and he appreciated that. And it's a small memory.
You went to his house in Italy.
Yep.
What a lucky man you are.
Normally I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it for anybody. I wouldn't do it for Roy Keane. I wouldn't do it for Roy Keane. I would not go to. But I see the way Baggio is. I knew he would be nice. I knew he would be tending to his grass or his trees. He was exactly where I knew he would be, and it was special, very special. To have 10 minutes with him was incredible. So after the semifinal, the next day we flew to Los Angeles and went to they had a big convention for Soccer Fest where they had the U.S. players were there. I met Tom Dooley. You remember Tom Dooley?
Yeah.
Marcelo Balboa and Mike Sorber were there. I met them. And Alan Rothenberg, I met him. We took a picture with the trophy, and it was a beautiful thing because we had the VIP passes so we could go in before the crowds. It was great, and it was a great atmosphere. And then I didn't think I was going to go to the third place game. I thought my grandmother and my grandfather were going to go. They wanted to bring my little brother because he wasn't going to get to go to the final and to go with my father. But my grandmother surprised me, and she said, "No, you can go." So I went to the third place game. Sweden, Bulgaria, and I sat at the halfway mark. Hakeem Olajuwon, are you familiar with basketball?
Yes, I remember that guy. Yes, at that
He
point
was
of time in those years, yes, I was familiar with the NBA because
yeah,
of Michael Jordan and Chicago Bulls.
yep. Well, Hakeem Olajuwon they just won the championship against my New York Knicks in basketball, and he was sitting right in front of me, a couple seats over. And so that was cool to see him in person, and he was a big soccer fan. And it was a great, it wasn't hard to get tickets for that. Actually, the story behind it, looking back now, is they had to give away tickets for that game. They were free, basically. They couldn't fill the stadium because I think mostly because the Bulgaria crowd was a very small crowd. If it was Italy, I think it would have been Italy-Sweden maybe would have been a better crowd, probably, I think. But all the action was in the first half, and it was right in front of me, and it was a fun time, and and then the next day was the final, and we just just incredible. We took a bus there and walked around the stadium, and it was just. I've been back since to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. And it's hard to believe that it's so quiet now, and for that moment in time, it was the center of the universe. It was unbelievable. And now you can walk around the stadium, and nobody even knew it was there. And I kind of missed that that charm of that stadium. I wish they had that for this World Cup, but of course, that's another subject. But but yeah, I was sitting right behind the goal for penalties. I have a couple nice pictures and of the players walking out, and my camera was dying at the time of the battery, so I wasn't able to get a lot of pictures. But a lot of the action was on our end. I remember the Polyuka when the ball hit his hand and hit
The post.
He kissed the post. I remember the stadium was laughing. They were laughing. You could hear a little, And I remember there was a man from England that jumped over the fence, and he snuck into the stadium standing, because I was on the aisle. I was right on the aisle. Next to me was the stairs, and there was a man from England that's sitting right in the aisle for free. He got into the stadium for free, and and so it was a great. Even though they lost, I was heartbroken. They lost, and I'm sure you were. Looking back, I didn't like Sachi. That Brazilian team was very defensive compared to the Joga Bonito. Yeah, Joga Bonito. Or even 82, 86. They were, Carlos Alberto Pereira was very defensive minded with Dunga and Marcio Santos in the mid, and
Mauro Silva, isn't it?
Mauro Silva, yeah. And so it was a very ugly game. And I wish they used Italy. I wish they used Casaraghi or Signori or Zola. It was no imagination from Saki. Nothing. No imagination from him. And you needed an imagination to win that game. I think you needed to even if Baggio came out, maybe he would have been better as a substitute. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, correct. That's some of the thoughts I have also, that maybe he would have been better off as a substitute, or how I wish he was fully fit for that final.
Yeah,
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 you
exactly.
you'll never know.
Or I was thinking if they just had Christian Vieri 4 years earlier, they
Oh,
could
yeah.
have won that
Oh,
game. 4 years earlier, they could have won. They could have won. And I could see Baggio. I remember he wasn't fully fit. He wasn't moving well. He had that one shot with Taffarel
yeah,
that he pulled up his calf, and
yeah.
but I tell you, Daniele Massaro, man, bad miss with Taffarel. With
Mm.
not penalty, but I'm talking
In
the
the
one on one
yeah,
regulation.
regulation time. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a good chance, and and that's the game. But Brazil, I thought I agree with your assessment that Brazil probably was the better team to win that tournament. I really agree with that. So
Sadly true. Um, Going back to the matches involving the Americans, the United States national team, what are your memories of those games?
Italy, Ireland, the game before that day, we watched USA. Is it Italy? I think it was, yeah. Italy, Ireland was the same day as USA, Switzerland, and we watched it in the horse racing track in across from Giant Stadium. It was great. When Eric Winalda scored a free kick, beautiful. It was a great cheer for everyone. Was going crazy, and then the second game was Colombia. I remember it was
Oh
great. I
yeah, that
remember
game was a great game.
played great. They played so well,
Yeah.
and Tab Ramos had a great assist to Ernie Stewart on the goal. Beautiful ball he gave him, and just heroic performance from the entire team. The Romanian game, I wasn't. I don't know. I knew they were tough, but I was disappointed. But I tell you, they could have beaten Brazil. U.S. could have beaten Brazil only because of the red card.
Mm.
Brazil wins 19 out of 20 times, but that day USA could have won. That day, that was one of the days that could have happened, but they just didn't have enough firepower. I don't think up front to or in the midfield or in general, and
Belief? Do you
that
think they lacked belief in that game against Brazil, that they could beat Brazil, they could stun them?
yeah, I think it was. You're playing with house money, They were playing with house money. There was no risk. There was only risk was getting blown out 4-0. If
Yeah,
you lose 1-0, it's a victory for
yeah.
that U.S. team. Even if it's at home on July 4th.
Mm.
That day was a very patriotic day. I remember the entire country was behind them. And I remember talking to Tab Ramos 8 years later, and I asked him about that red card, and he told me that Leonardo actually came to the hospital to visit
Mm.
him and apologize,
Nice
which
of
I
him.
thought was which was nice because Leonardo was a great player. I mean, he was a world
Yeah, it's
class
great.
player.
Yeah, and he comes across as a gentleman as well in his post
Yeah,
playing career as well. Yeah, so I was
you
quite
know,
surprised to see him do that.
yeah, I don't even. I think it was just. I don't think it was dirt. I think it was just a reflex.
Mm.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe a reflex. Something so quick.
Yeah,
You don't have time to think about it. Maybe. But I love watching him with AC Milan. He was a great player,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was a heroic performance from that U.S. team, and they really turned on an entire generation of soccer players just from their performance that World Cup. And every time I talk to one of those guys, I let them know, thank you for the inspiration that year in '94, helping grow, the sport here, because the sport has never been. It's taken off since '94. '94 changed everything in the U.S. for soccer. It got a whole generation of people talking about the sport. So
Okay, and are those players now household names in America? The players from that generation.
No, I mean with the soccer community, it is. They are the Tab Ramos, the Tony Miola, Paul Caligiuri. You know those guys, John Harkes. Those guys are, but not in terms of the everyday general public. No, it's still has a long way to go. You know, and I think you need a few generations to go to get that type of attention from the general public. I think.
Okay. So you mentioned briefly about the legacy of the World Cup for American football, soccer, sorry, in this case.
Hmm.
Um, let's go to today. How has American football progressed since '94? What do you feel about it? Is it a point of stagnation right now?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like a lot of the problem is at the youth levels. There's so much money involved with the sport, whereas these other countries, that's their only way to get out of the situations that they're
Poverty.
in sometimes, right? So generally, I think there's a lot of byproduct problems. Like, you know, here the kids are done with soccer, they play video games. In Brazil, the kids are done with soccer practice, they go outside and play soccer, more soccer. So I
Mm.
think that's a problem. It's too. Some of these Western countries are. I mean, look at Italy. Perfect
Yeah.
example how they've just fallen so far behind. Um, but I think there's so many. You know, our country is so big too. It's like 350 million people. It's like trying to find like a needle in a haystack. Whereas these other countries that are smaller, it's maybe easier to spot the players. Plus, I think the different styles of play. You have European style, you have Mexican or Spanish, South American style, and it's hard to really gel those two to have a free flowing um, style of play. I think that causes problems as well.
Mm.
Um, do you play direct? Do you play long ball? Do you play short passes? Do you Are you creative, or you play catenaccio? There's so many different styles of players, and I just think it's hard to get everyone going in the right direction, whichever direction, whether it's a European style, whether it's a South American style here, whatever. I
So
just think
finding
it's
the
hard.
American identity is missing
Right.
now. Right.
Right. So like the melting pot is actually working against them. The fact that it's working against them because you just can't have a one track of mind to get everyone going in the right direction. And
Mhm.
it's just the way of life. Unfortunately, it is what it is, So,
What do you think their chances are for this year's World Cup? How do you think they'll fare?
I gotta be very honest with you. I don't follow the game very much anymore.
Mm. Mm.
Uh, I maybe 10, 15 players in the entire world. I
Okay.
don't. That's where it's a change a lot for me. As you notice, I can name every player: Casaraghi,
Oh,
Zola, whatever, Nico Berti, number 14. I can name everything.
yeah.
But now I lost a lot of the interest in it just because it's just not the same for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's I think you maybe agree to a certain extent. It's not the
Yeah, yeah.
same anymore.
Yeah.
They favor the money, which is okay. You have to make money, but it's just not the same. But in terms of the U.S., I mean, I follow it a little bit. A friend of mine is best friends with Christian Pulisic, the top U.S. player,
Okay. Yeah.
and a kid that I used to train is best friend with him, and so I do have a little interest there, rooting for those guys, and him and McKinney, a lot of good players in Italy. Dest, I know, is a good player. I think the draw was favorable to them from the research I've been doing. They might have a decent shot, but Bosnia is not an easy team. They play very well. That little outside midfielder who's American was great against Italy. That number 20, I think he was.
No, Bosnia is in Canada's group.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So if
I
Italy had
forget.
qualified, they'll be in Canada's group.
Right. Okay. So U.S. has Paraguay, Australia, and the third team is escaping me. Who is the Do you recall the third team?
I'm similarly like you, a bit out of touch.
Okay.
I do
Yeah.
follow, but it's just okay. So you got USA, Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey.
Turkey. Okay. So it's not a easy. Turkey's not easy.
Yeah, Turkey
You
is not
know.
easy. Turkey is a good team.
Yeah. So they're all good teams. I mean, in that group.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It should be interesting. I'm going actually to the first game. I'll be going to USA Paraguay just so I can enjoy the World Cup experience one more time.
Mm.
Not really, so if yeah, it should be interesting. I'm not expecting anything like close to 1994. Unfortunately,
Okay.
it's I wish.
Now on the other part of it, safety. People have safety concerns in US, in even in Mexico as well.
Yeah.
I don't think you can comment what's happening in Mexico, but at least in the United States, what's the situation like?
Yeah, it's hard to, there's a lot of people that are going to be coming here. There's a lot of people that are here
Yeah,
now that came
from
here that we
overseas.
don't know
Yeah.
who. Yeah, a lot of people here now we don't know who they are. Unfortunately, that have been here. So it's unfortunately it's a new part of life. It's hard to predict. We just hope everything goes well. I'm surprised more stuff doesn't happen. To be honest with you, that's part of a new way of life, I guess. But I'm hoping the authorities do their job and keep everyone safe. And it's a lot of soft targets now. There's a lot of. I know you won't be able to get on the premises of Giant Stadium without a game ticket for the game. You cannot park your car if you don't have a ticket. In '94, you could go and party, and now there's
Yeah.
no tailgating, and if you don't have a game ticket, you cannot go. So I know they're taking some move. They're making some moves towards that to hopefully help limit that, or prevent any of that. Hopefully,
Mm.
those issues. But yeah, it's
In
always.
contrast, in '94, you felt the atmosphere to be more welcoming for the foreign fans that were there to watch the team play.
I don't know, to be honest. I don't detect that right now here. I
Okay.
don't detect any like I don't I know the immigrant. I mean, all he's really doing is the pushing the laws of the country. So which is the same as what they did in '94. Just enforcing the rules. But I don't detect that from any people that I know. I mean, it's what's nice about soccer is it's the
Yes.
world's game, and it shouldn't have anything to do with politics or
Yeah.
welcoming, or it's about bringing people together.
Yeah. True.
And it should have nothing to do with any of this. And I hope that's what it is.
Mm.
Because that's really what it is about. It's the most democratic game. It's not decided by coaches on the sidelines. It's about creativity and just the overall individual and team on the field. And I hope that's the spirit of the tournament, where it is a welcoming thing. We want people to come and have a good time and celebrate the beautiful game.
Mm.
Because that's what it is. It's here for fun, and I don't detect any. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what the sales are going to be. We're not. I guess we won't know until the sales are what they are. But the tickets are very high here, very high
Yeah.
compared to '94. So um, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens, I guess.
Yeah. On the ticket as well, the ticket prices I've heard is very high. I don't think it's high just. I mean, we can't compare the '94 because of inflation over the years. But still, I
Right.
don't expect it. I don't think it should have been this high as it is today. So it makes it tough for fans from overseas to come and watch the match. Affordability becomes a factor even for average Americans to go and watch, isn't it?
Even for Americans that are living here, it's impossible to go to games for most people. What did I see? Who is the Curacao and one other team. I don't know. $800 for upper level.
Wow.
Like, who would pay that? So I expect the prices should come down as we get closer. I think they will. They normally do for any sport. They do come down. But I just think, the fact that the prices are so high, I guess that does speak somewhat for the international interest, because I don't think they could generate that much interest dollar wise just from the USA market. I think the fact that the prices are so high, it has to be coming from international sources that those ticket prices, the interest of it. So we'll see. I hope, like I said, I hope people come and I hope they have a good time.
Yeah. So there could be a possibility that as the tournament gets closer, they might even hand out free tickets then.
Yeah, I don't know about free, but maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
Just to fill
That's
out the stadium.
well, that's the thing. You have 48 teams now.
Yeah.
Back then in '94, you had 24. So just from that alone, at least the fans were able to understand each team or get a good idea from each team. Each team had an identity. There were good stories. Not everyone was well known. Nigeria was not well known.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia was not well known. But then you sprinkled in a little bit of Italy, and you sprinkled in, Brazil, Haji,
Argentina.
right?
Maradona
And
was there as well.
right. So there are beautiful stories that were intertwined. Now it's 48 teams. You don't know who's who.
Yeah.
And it's hard to really generate authentic, organic interest from the U.S. Population. From that alone, I think it's hard to generate organic interest that is real authentic, because there's so many teams. It's very, I could see, like I said, people coming from other countries to come, which would be great. But just from a standpoint of how many teams are there, it's very very difficult to see how it's just followed by everyone.
My one concern is that we're going to watch matches where stadiums aren't full. Like, for example, in the Club World Cup last year, was it? It was last year, isn't it? That they had the
Yeah.
Club World Cup in the United States, and there were games where the stadiums weren't full and it made for a poor atmosphere. And I guess at that point as well, those tickets weren't selling for cheap. So that's a reason why the crowds weren't full.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think that was a problem. But although the Club World Cup, I don't know if that garners as much interest from the world, not even just the U.S., but the world in general. I don't think people really follow that too much,
True.
But yeah, I mean, it doesn't help for sure. It doesn't help. And so we'll see. I guess time will tell,
Yeah. Let's see how the tournament goes. And if you do go, stay safe. But I'm sure that one good thing FIFA has been doing is getting legends involved. So the presence of legends at stadiums and all, and so that's very nice to see. Baju has come out of his shell to appear in all these events as well. So it is very nice to see the recognition these legends have got, and I think that's one good thing FIFA and Gianni Infantino have done amongst all the bad things that have been going on with FIFA.
Yeah, unfortunately it's not just FIFA, it's all the sports. I follow American sports. It's the same playbook that they just are. It's all about money. See, in '94 it used to be business and sport. Now it's only business, no sport. It's only business. And that's okay, but eventually, you're going to lose interest. But I guess they don't care about the real fans. They have the whole world to cater to.
Yeah.
And it's a numbers game for them, So it's a different sport for me. They have the water breaks now,
Yes. Imagine in '94 if they had water breaks.
I would laugh.
Especially in the final, in the '94 final. That game really needed a water break.
It would be a joke, though. It would be a joke. It would be comedy. It would be a comedy show if that was the, And now it's real. Now it's real life.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to take it serious. It really is hard to take it serious compared to what it used to be. And I tell you what, I don't know if you heard the song. The song is horrible that they keep
Not
putting out.
really.
All
Okay.
of the songs. I used to love Gloryland. I loved the 98 song with Ricky Martin, the
Yeah.
2002 with Vangelis in Japan,
Vangelis.
South Korea.
Yeah.
Beautiful song. Shakira is terrible now. I
Yes.
don't want to hear her again. It's terrible. Um, the other song with Jelly Roll, this guy that's in the USA, terrible, terrible songs. It's better to not have any song. You know, it's terrible. I love Gloryland. Gloryland was my favorite World Cup song from '94, and
Mm.
you know they used to be anthems. Now it's
Yeah.
no more anthem. And '90, Gianni Nannini, and the great song "Un'estate Italiana," great song from 1990, and
Yeah,
it's
1990 and the
just
other song as well, Naughty Magique.
yeah, Notti Magiche, right?
Yeah.
So if you haven't heard the song yet, don't even bother wasting your time because it's horrible. And I don't know who's in charge of doing that, but terrible. I hope they come out with another one soon because it's just
You got to
but
do
the
better.
whole thing.
Got to do better than that.
Yeah, the whole thing is just I do wish it was more of a American sentiment behind it. It's more of a global feel for this. I
Mm.
think what made '94 special, what there was a American patriotic theme, Gloryland and the Stars
Mm.
and Stripes, and it just felt that we were welcoming, which we still are welcoming. But now I feel like you have this Shakira song. It's like it sounds like a jungle song, like you're in like a woods, like the jungle of the. It has nothing to do with our, So
Yeah,
it,
I get your sentiment. Yeah, I understand. Because she
yeah,
did her song, was it in 2010 for the 2010 World Cup? That went well.
yeah, yeah. But that's South
Yeah.
Africa. And I
Yeah,
guess
but
that's okay
yeah,
for that
because it
theme.
goes
But
with the theme. Yeah, correct.
right,
Goes with the place, and the music
yeah,
match the vibes. Yeah, I
yeah. But
understand.
it should just be a beautiful anthem of because looking back, you'll have a lot of memories, good or bad. But you'll have like I look back in '94, I have the great memories with all the in '94. After every game, they would play Gloryland in all the stadiums. It was great. It
Mm.
was beautiful. It felt like I was in heaven watching the game, and then the songs would come on the speaker, and ole ole ole. So we'll see what happens, but
Mm.
there's some things I would change, and I think you would change too.
And just for comparison, do you remember how much the tickets cost in '94?
Yeah, for the final. Well, keep in mind, like I said, my grandfather was on the founders committee, so we
Yeah.
had special prices. But we paid behind the goal $475 for the final in Pasadena. $475. Now the same seats are $35,000 in Giant Stadium. No, thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, no,
And
thank you.
Rose Bowl, Pasadena is not in use anymore?
It's in use by college football, college American
Oh,
football.
okay.
But the reason why they're not using it is all greed. Just like the NFL, the National American Football League, they don't. They used to play the Super Bowls in the Rose Bowl, but there's no more luxury boxes. They don't have many luxury boxes, so they
Mm-hmm.
can't make more the money. It's all about the money.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, if you remember, well, '94 it was played at I believe 3 o'clock kickoff, so it was daytime. But at nighttime, as the sun is going down, that stadium is the most beautiful atmosphere in the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
And there's mountains in the background. It looks like a painting. Like it's incredible. Whatever sport, football, soccer, any.
Mm-hmm.
So they should have it there. It's just a great place, but they're having it. The game I'm going to is in Los Angeles, but it's at the Los Angeles Rams. SoFi Stadium is the name of the stadium. SoFi.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
it's
heard of that.
it's all So we'll see. I'm not I don't have my hopes up, but I'll hopefully have a good time.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, on that note as well, broadcasting rights. some countries are still don't have broadcasting rights for the World Cup. We used to watch it for free here in
Yeah.
Singapore in '94. Now it's costing us $118. There was an early bird offer till the end of April, and that wasn't cheap either. That was $98
Hmm.
Singapore dollars. So this is now 118 Singapore dollars. So I haven't subscribed yet. So I'm like on the fence. Shall I do
Yeah.
it? Shall I not? Piracy is the other route out.
Yeah.
Cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope you can. Yeah, it should be for everyone. I mean, I understand it's something somebody's going to have to pay for it. I understand that, but
Yeah.
it's just this whole subscription thing. That's the new future. Unfortunately, everything is subscription with sports on TV. Even here with the American football, it's becoming a subscription. It's you know it's crazy. But if people stop paying it, they wouldn't be able to do it. So
Yeah. But still, people will want to watch. That's why they'll pay. It's an addiction
right,
as well, right?
right.
Yeah.
So, but it's an unfortunate thing. But like I said, like I told you, the charm of the tournament um, is not going to. It's not. I can tell it's not going to be there. But they don't want charm. They want money. There's no charm. They
Dollars and
don't want
cents.
charm. Right?
Yeah.
Charm doesn't pay the bills. You know. So, but I'm hopeful the games will be good. I think there'll be a lot of one sided games from the beginning.
Mhm.
Maybe when you get to the round of 32, you might have some. Like I said, I'm just going off of a normal sports brain, so I'm thinking maybe you might have some good upsets in the
Yeah.
first playoff round.
I
Um,
hope so too. Yeah.
but I'm more of a guy that I like to keep it tight and neat and keep the competition in a nice little box, and you know what you're getting. I understand the argument where the sport is progressing in Africa and Asia, and you want to have more, and now it's a bigger box. I understand that too. I get both. I understand both arguments.
Hmm.
Of course, the powers that be are going to go with the bigger box because it's more money. So
Yeah. True.
you know,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm also wondering about that, about whether, having 48 countries will it affect the quality of the games? Because, yeah, more teams have qualified, a number of teams have qualified for the first time in their life, and that's a great moment for those countries to qualify for the World Cup. So great
right,
moment for the country and the citizens in the country. But as a footballing fan, when we watch the match, will it be a good quality match, or will
right.
we, get lopsided scores of 5-0
Hmm.
and 6-0, and this
Hmm.
team getting hammered every single game? Then that's
Right.
not much fun. But of course, with Italy not being in there, I'm hoping for an upset all the way, and maybe someone who's never won the World Cup will win it.
Quite possible. I actually heard Curacao is a good team. I don't know if it's true or not, but
Mhm.
that'll be interesting. I don't know if they got some guys from Africa to come and play. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see if they
Yeah, how they do. Yeah.
yeah, it could be like a France '98 scenario where they bring in Zidane from Morocco, wherever I forget where he came from. One of
Algeria.
those Algeria, right? Bring these guys from these countries, and now you have who knows? Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's the new way. I prefer in the '80s when it was organic, and it was organic growth of the system. But it's a new world now, and
Mm.
I guess
The,
you know
I guess the French one, in the case of the French, I guess it's a product of immigrants in the country, and that's also
yeah,
due to colonization, because
right,
the French had colonized all these countries, and then so therefore the immigrants went to these countries, and then they had kids there, they were born there.
right.
Yeah, but they came from maybe Algerian descent or African
Hmm.
descent,
Sure.
and then they went on to then play for France. And there are actually a number of French players that are probably born in France, but then they go and play for Senegal or Ivory Coast. That's
Sure.
also
Sure.
happening. So same thing
Sure.
with England as well. England is also were colonizers of many different countries, so they've got
Right.
many. England is a melting pot of people from different countries, and
Right.
therefore, you see the mix in their national team, which I have no problem with. The
Yeah.
issue I have with modern day international football is naturalization of players. That is, players that were not even born in that country, don't have any descendancy with that country. They're just there playing football for in a club, and then they become citizens, and then they go and represent the country. That's a bit mercenary. So I'm not too
I
comfortable
agree.
talking with that. Yeah,
I
and
agree with you. Yeah.
that is happening a lot in this part of the world because the footballing nations here are a bit weaker than the rest of Asia, even the rest
Right.
of Asia. So to catch up, a lot of countries are doing that. The
Right.
mixed Either the mixed heritage route or the naturalization route. So this is how international football is going. It's becoming a bit like club football. You don't have players. To fill the gap in, I get another person from another country, give him citizenship, and he plays for
Yeah.
my country.
Right.
So that loses its charm. But
You're
again,
right. It doesn't feel
yeah,
organic. It's not
yeah,
real. Right.
yeah,
It's not real.
correct.
Unfortunately. Yeah. It definitely takes away from it. But we'll see. It'll be interesting. I'll be able to see France. I'll be able to see England for the first time in
Oh
U.S.
yeah,
soil in the World Cup.
yeah.
So that should be fun.
Okay.
I tell you, I was thinking it would have been interesting to see Italy, England instead of Italy, Norway in '94. That would have been
Mm.
interesting because England would have presumably been drawn into that
Oh
if they were
yeah,
drawn into
yeah,
that
yeah.
spot. It
Because
would have been interesting,
they were eliminated by Norway and Holland.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
How
yeah,
about that Bulgaria France game, huh?
yeah.
Unbelievable that goal he scored at the end there,
Yeah, yeah. Kostadinov,
Kostadinov. Yeah,
and then the withdrawal for Ginola.
yeah,
He
right.
never played for France after that.
And he was a great player.
Yeah, great player, true.
He was a great player, man. Him and Cantona, Eric Cantona could have been there
Cantona,
too.
yeah. Cantona,
You
Cantona
know,
still played. Cantona still played until the Kung Fu kick, and then they didn't
yeah,
call him after that, which is
yeah.
a pity. He should have been there in '96. Would have been nice if he had been there in '98 and won the World Cup. But he had
Oh,
retired, yeah.
would have been great. Would have been
Yeah,
great. I have a few pictures. I don't know if you can see.
yeah, I
Uh,
think again.
are you able to see? That's
Yeah,
sweet. It's a little blurry, maybe. I don't
yeah.
know. It's blurry,
Now it's clear.
but
Now it's clear. Okay,
yeah, that's a Sweden, Bulgaria, '94.
okay.
Can you see it? Good detail
Yeah,
or no? It's
yeah.
good.
Now in detail, yeah. Earlier it was blurry.
Okay. Yeah, that's me with my grandparents at the final in the
Oh,
'94.
right.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm going to wear the same outfit for the game I go to. There's Italy, Brazil. I took walking out
Uh,
of the stadium. So some nice memories I have from back then. And one more, I have a Marcio Santos penalty save by Pagliuca. I took that
okay.
picture. I
Right.
was trying to squeeze as many pictures as I can, and that's Romario with the trophy on the scoreboard. If you can
Mm.
see, I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
I think what you could do is you could scan these photos and send it to me. We'll include it in the video in the intro.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, we'll do that. Some nice photos I have,
Yeah,
good
yeah.
memories. So,
And
but
also
and
before we go, Jim, share with us. You've got a page especially for USA 94. So tell us what that's all about.
yeah, it's World Cup USA '94 on Instagram. I'm just trying to. It's a good page for me to show a lot of the different artifacts I have from the World Cup, or
Mm.
stories I have, or connections to some of the U.S. players I might have, or pictures, or whatever. Just it's a nice little home for World Cup '94 that I'm going to hold with me forever. And one more thing I wanted to show you. This was my hat that I wore to the final in
Oh,
'94,
you've got it
and
nicely framed.
yeah,
Full
signed by
signature, is it?
Roberto
Baggio.
Baggio at his house.
Wow.
And I wore this to Pasadena, and I showed him, and he loved it. He loved it. So it was. I tell you, you'll never have that understanding. I hope you do one day. Maybe we can make it happen, where he walks out of his door and he walks to me, just me and him, nobody else, man. You know what that feeling was like? After
Uh,
31 years, I was
I can
waiting for
only
that, man.
imagine. I can only
I
imagine.
used to I used to wear the blue shoes. I used to wear the The Diodora in yellow and the blue. I wanted to be him, man. That was my idol growing up.
Yeah.
I hope maybe we can make it work one day. I meet you in Italy or something because you're a good fan and you deserve to meet him. And I hope we can maybe make that happen one day. We'll see what happens.
Maybe on this platform.
Who knows? Maybe we have
Yeah.
to communicate. I know his daughter Valentina is on social media, so maybe we can make that happen. But he is a great guy, and he's a great hero for humanity, and not just football, but humanity. He's a very decent man, and he's a pure exemplary of how he handled the adversity and did not let that ruin his life or his career. So that's why I really admire him.
Yeah, still loved by a lot of people till today.
Right, absolutely.
All right, Jim. Thanks a
Ross,
lot.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate your time and your memories as well. It's been wonderful listening from your perspective, sitting in the stands in the stadium, watching the match, sharing with us about the atmosphere. We can close our eyes and imagine how it was because we would have been here watching the games and we would have heard the reception of the crowd and how it was going. So we can visualize it, but you brought the sounds to us.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, and I wish more people were like you. That the it's good to live in the present and look forward to the future, but there is something special about reminiscing about the greatest moments of our life. And like I said, I just wanted to tell you that everything that you saw that summer on video, from your house, your home, missing school, waking up early in the morning, turning the volume down, seeing the
Yeah.
beautiful blue sky. Everything that you saw was real, and from an 11-year-old to a 10-year-old, I just wanted to say thank you very much for having me on.
My pleasure, complete pleasure. All right, Jim. Ciao. See you. See you
Okay,
around. Please.
arrivederci.
Yeah, arrivederci, and please do support us.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank
Thanks
you.
so much, Roz. Appreciate it.
Welcome. Bye bye. Good night
Bye-bye.
to you.
Yeah. All right. Good day.
Cheers.
See ya.